What's happening, everyone? How you doing, man? How you doing? It's another day in paradise. Well, here we are. Here we are again. We're just going to be doing some drawing. Hopefully it'll come out well. Who knows? We never know. But the main purpose of today is just to kind of get some drawing in. And I'm going to work on this area. I'm going to leave this area alone. I'm going to work mainly over here. That's what I'm going to do. I hope everyone is doing good. I am here. I guess that's whatever that means. I don't know what that means anymore, man. The vlog has been kind of taking a little hiatus. Really, I'm not really able to be consistent as I like to be, and I wish I could say like, oh man, it's because of this, it's because of that. It's really like I don't have any good excuses. I've just been dropping the ball, really. This is kind of how life kind of goes, I guess, right? There's nothing wrong with that, right? And it's been on the back of my mind, like I got to get back into doing this because I usually start out really well with some of these little like big plans. Like I'm gonna make a video every day for 70 days or 100 days, and then all of a sudden, a few hiccups kind of happen. You know, you have like these daily points of friction that you have to do, like, oh, my tire blew out, or oh, I slept in. Like I literally slept in. You ever sleep in where you don't do it on purpose, you know? Like I don't know if this is just me or I think other people do this. Like I know other people can just like, they just wake up the time that they're supposed to wake up regardless, or they'll wake up and be tired and they'll be able to push through it. What happens with me is like, I'll set my timer, my alarm to wake me up at a certain time, and I'll just hit like snooze button with no recollection of, I need to lower my sketchbook down a little bit, with no recollection of me doing that. I'm like, what happened? I just kind of slept through the thing that I needed to be sleeping, like waking up to, you know? And it's just kind of weird how that happens. And so I'll sleep through things not intentionally. And it usually puts me behind a couple hours. And like, I'm not that's a good reason for anything. It just means everything can technically be delayed by like 3 to 4 hours, you know? But, you know, this type of little thing that I'm doing here is more like just it's just more for fun. So when you're doing these things that are for fun, and it's really hard to like get the motivation to do it. You know, there's no drive, no reason, you know. It's kind of like bodybuilders that don't compete, and they don't have a social media following, so like there's no monetary drive for them, and you think they're kind of weird, right? You think like why are they exercising and putting themselves through this torture if they're not really getting anything like monetarily out of it or some accolades? You know, it would be like a guy or a woman who were training for the Olympics, were training with Olympians, and were as good or better than some of the Olympians, but decided that they don't want to participate in the Olympics. You know, it'd be like a gymnast that was world class, Olympic level, an Olympic level elite athlete, and at the top of their game, and they just do it for fun, and they don't even compete, you know. So this is what it's like for me. It's like I just kind of do this stuff for fun, and when you do things for fun or just for mild enjoyment, right? Like do these videos or draw. This is kind of terrible, by the way. I always say this. Like, this drawing's not good. I don't even know what's happening here. When you do these sort of things for fun, and for like some mild enjoyment or to improve yourself or whatever, and you don't like get anything from it other than just like the self-satisfaction that you're, I guess, improving at your craft or improving at something, the drive to do it is lower, you know? Like a lot of these entrepreneurs, like, why do they start businesses? Like, what's the point? Well, they make money, you know? Many of these entrepreneurs would be less inclined to do it if they made no money or if it was for free, you know? And I know they say that they're doing it because they love it and they love that, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I don't think that's true. Like, a lot of people are externally motivated. And not to say that I'm not motivated to that degree. Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't be, you know, if these videos, man, there's a fly in this house. Get away. It's just flying around. If this channel ever pops off, man, great, you know. But then it kind of, there'd be like a pressure. There'd be a pressure. That's what a lot of those YouTube channels happens. What happens to those YouTube channels is they get a level of success, and then there's this pressure to constantly be making new content and making new things, and then it becomes what turned out to be like a literal labor of love turned out to be like a job. And like, yes, it is a dream job, I guess, for some, but also can to some people's like, this is terrifying. This is like, it's like when if you have a YouTube channel and you're successful, and you let's say you get like 1 million or 2 million or 5 million followers, and you start making some mad money off it, right? You make a lot of money and you're successful. It's like that success traps you a little bit. It's kind of like being beholden to like investors of a company. Like you gotta constantly be raising the quote unquote metaphorical stock in your YouTube page, you know, or in your for your YouTube, you know, and that's just, I don't know, man. That sounds cool, but also like draining at the same time. Like you started out doing it for the passion or for like the enjoyment, and then all of a sudden now you're like, oh man, I gotta make this video, and I really don't have any video ideas, or I don't really have anything to create value for the day, and you're constantly struggling, you know. I think a lot of these, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm jaded. I don't know. I feel like I'm jaded. I could be jaded. Who knows? This is supposed to be, I can't tell if the artist is rendering the thumb. I don't know if this is the palm or this is the back of the hand. I'm not sure. It literally looks kind of like this. There's not a lot going on. You got the thumb and you got part of a finger and you got what could be the palm. I'm not sure. These are just images from a book, and they don't really give you an explanation. They don't say like, this is the palm. They don't tell the anatomy of of what I'm drawing. They're just like, here's an image of something, draw it. I'm like, okay, good. I'll draw it. Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you for all the data and input here. But yeah, man, it's kind of crazy. But here I am doing a little bit of drawing, and hopefully something comes of it. You never know. You never know what comes with anything. I don't know if I like that though. Let's go move on. Let's just call this a failed experiment. How about that? One thing about art and like just being an artist, you know, there's this like, what would you call it? You have like your own like gauge of your ability, and you oftentimes use that gauge in kind of like a self-defeatist manner, right? Like you compare yourself, and that, I guess that's good at the beginning, especially if you're trying to improve, and especially you want to if you're trying to improve, gauging yourself against other artists is, it's a good thing. It's a good measure, but if you're not like inherently talented or gifted, or things you acquire skills slowly, it can be very, very soul crushing. Like it can crush your soul, because you see all these other artists and you see how good they make work, and you're like, what? You know, how do they take that paper, or how do they take this and put something on paper, and you're just like, this is amazing. How do they do this? I want that, right? I want to be able to do that. And you try and you try and you try, and then like you can't improve fast enough, or you're not improving at all, and you're wondering why. And then you'll have people say, well, it's because of this or it's because of that, and there might be there might be some validity to that, right? But we also have to look at art, or anything that you do, like that's creative, or anything that requires some like a kernel of skill. You have to just kind of get a little bit of grace, be a little humble, and understand that some people are going to pick up things faster than you, and sometimes it's going to take what takes someone 5 months might take you 2 to 5 years, which sucks. I'll give you that. It's not great that it does that happens, but that's just how it is. That's just how it's going to be. And some people are able to do things faster or learn things faster than others, and that happens, and that is okay. Don't beat yourself up over it. Do not beat yourself up over it. It's just how it is. I can't really explain it. All I can say is, I don't know if I don't know if I believe in the idea that you can like speed up the process for improving at certain things. Like you probably could, right? Like we're talking about you probably could, but as far as art, I think art is more of a personal endeavor, and the expression of how you pursue or how you create drawings is it's variable, right? I think the only method that I saw, the only style or type of like structure or drawing structure that I saw that creates very uniform outcomes, I think is like the Atelier Academy, and they do a drawing structure that is very uniform. Like it's everyone comes out drawing works that are very similar, because it's very structured. They have a very distinct way, or very standard operated procedure with regards to how do you set up a drawing. And anyone that goes to that school or that academy ends up having a very, very strong, solid drawing base. But the issue with that is you can't really tell between artists. They're all very similar. The outcomes are very similar. But when you're like pursuing your own art, or trying to become like a self-taught artist, I guess, the variables are wider. Like you're not doing a very specialized technical drawing, right? There's more variety in the outcomes that you can pursue with regards to like personal endeavors in your own artwork. It's not a bad thing to use other artists as a gauge, but just use it as like a yardstick. Don't beat yourself up over it. And that happens. And I've fallen victim to that many a times, and it's easy to compare yourself to other individuals, compare yourself. Like we do this all the time. We do it in social media, where like we see people like crushing it online, and they may be really crushing it online, or they may be making like it might be fake, right? It might be like that fake crushing it, Look how good I'm doing. Look at my house. Look at my car. Look at my things. I got so many things. Look at all the things that I have. Wow, that's a lot of things you got there, man, sir, or ma'am. You really like to spend money on things. Does that make you happy? Oh, it may or may not. But I got things, and I want people to be jealous of my things. Um, I'm kind of going on. I'm kind of going on like a weird consumer rant. I don't know. I digress. But yeah, you can compare yourself, and there can be some benefit to it, but it also can be some negative, like it can be negative, right? Because what the only benefit to compare yourself to others with regards to art does is like it can show you the disparity in your ability, but it also can point out like maybe your flaws in your artwork, or it can also point out some of the good stuff that you're doing, some of the positive things in your artwork, and you can use that information to, like, improve your work, I guess, if you think about it critically. Now, let me be honest with you, I fall victim to this as well. I'm like, I don't always think about my artwork critically. I always it's just like, bleh, there it is. Here's something I did, right? It's not always constructive criticism or constructive thought. It's almost just like I'm just drawing, and then if it turns out, it turns out. If it doesn't, perhaps I wasn't thinking hard enough. I don't know. But yeah, that's a challenging skill to do, to learn, as well as to be able to think critically of your artwork and kind of figure out what you're lacking, or what are some skills that you want to improve, you know. And that can be challenging in itself, to be able to dissect your skill set. And sometimes you need a person outside, a third party, to give you some criticism, or to give you some feedback, to point out things that you might be blinded to with regards to your art, or with regards to anything that you're doing, really. I think we got two little hands here. This one looks pretty good. The second one's all right. Let's go ahead and move down right here. We're just gonna draw another thumb. This one little thumbsy right around here. Oh man, wow. This is new to me. I haven't done a video in so long that it's almost like, it's definitely not like riding a bicycle. Like once you get back on the bike, it's second nature. Like you just remember it. You just remember it like immediately. Like, it's not really like that for me. I'm a slow learner. How about that? And I am not afraid to point that out. So, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. A lot of people think, oh, I'm a slow learner. Like, oh, I can't learn quickly. And that, like, it's a bad thing. And there's some positives to being slow at learning things. Like, you learn patience, someone that maybe can get that, someone that has the innate ability to kind of just pick up things really easily, they could give up easily if they try to do something that they found particularly challenging, and they weren't able to pick it up as quickly as they normally are able to pick up new things. That could be a kind of like a character flaw, I guess, if you consider it a character flaw. Like, they're just impatient. They just haven't been able to grow. Haven't been able to build that muscle up, and they probably won't, if they're able to, like, just learn things really quickly, just like those people that, like, they study a lot, or they study and they can just, like, spit out the information that they've just read. Man, that'd be crazy. I have to read things over and over and over again before I can, like, remember it. So that kind of sucks, but at the very least, there's some silver lining at it, because I have at least a level of patience that some people may or may not have, and I think that's a good thing. I think patience is an undervalued skill you know, that is often looked over. Like, and it's getting more valuable as time goes on because it feels like individuals today, because of social media and because of the way the internet works and because of everything, they're not seeing, a lot of people don't see the stuff behind the curtain, you know. They just see the outcome. So like they see someone who is who has a lot of money, or they see someone who has a lot of followers, you know, or a lot of people watching their YouTube channel, or a lot of people asking them for advice, or they become an expert in their field. They don't see the amount of work that is done in the background, you know. They only see the outcome. And a lot of times there's a lot of work in the background that is not being presented to the outside world, you know. And it can kind of skew perception in the sense that we think this person just was really, really good at at drawing, or really, really good at acting, or really, really good at making videos. But we don't see that person. We don't see the person spending hours of their time researching how to make videos, or researching how to draw better, or reading books on certain topics that have made them specialized or knowledgeable in their field, you know. And so in the end, really, just being really patient with yourself, being patient in general, going slow with anything. Like everyone is we're always trying to rush through things. You know, we're always trying to rush through things and get things done quickly. It's like this weird, I think it's like this weird, like corporate world that we live in. We're like, we got to get things done faster and we got to output more. Like, why? We just got to output more and more and more. Like, this is weird. It's kind of weird to me. It's just like a weird type of feeling where you have to constantly be pumping out work, or pumping out whatever it is, you know, videos, books, music. Like people you just have to be outputting constantly. We have never put, as a society, we have never been more productive ever than now. Like, we're producing more than we ever have, and like, it's not enough, right? And a lot of the great works, a lot of the great things that were made didn't happen in a 25-minute video, you know. Anyways, I think I'm done. I'm kind of done ranting. I'm just going to consider this a success. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be back. Fingers crossed. Cheers.